Hello, I'm H.P. Lehkonen, or H.P. Lehkonen if you prefer to say it the English way or American way, but yeah, that's my name. I'm a comics artist from Finland, which explains my absolutely sexy accent that I have going on in here. And the title of this video is absolutely a clickbait. I can spoil the whole thing for you right now. I am not quitting comics, of course, but the idea for this video came from some Finnish comics people asking me when I started studying social sciences, why are you changing careers, why are you quitting comics? Well, I am not quitting comics, and there is a lot of things I want to talk about. Not that I need to explain anything for anyone. I mean, the explanation is I am not quitting comics, and that's it. That's an easy explanation. But there is so many things that I find interesting and I want to talk about. You know, like the whole question, career in comics. Why am I quitting my career in comics? And I find that funny because I don't think I have a career in comics. Because, well, look, I have a phone here, and on this phone I have the Cambridge dictionary that explains me what is a career, because of course I understand that most of these discussions have been had in Finnish, but you know, I want to know what I'm talking about also in English. So career, I had to check like if it's the same definition as ura in Finnish. So career is the job or series of jobs that you do during your working life, especially if you continue to get better jobs and earn more money. I am not continuing to get better jobs or earning more money, which is the reason why I do not consider comics as a career. I used to work on Webtoon. Some of you might remember me from such videos as me replying to my Webtoon comments. I made 2 Webtoon original series. One of them is called Immortal Nerd, and the other one is called Life Outside the Circle. I think both of them are very good comics. I used to think that Immortal Nerd was not a good comic and Life Outside the Circle was, but now that I think back on them, they are both very good comics. I just, you know, when you're a comics artist, you just get that thing that you think the old one is horrible and the new one is good, but not anymore. I have learned to love both of them equally. Okay, not equally, I do still love Life Outside the Circle more, but that's not the point. Okay, but yeah, I used to work for Webtoon. I made these 2 comics that were Webtoon originals, and they paid me quite well. It was nice. I got paid more from Life Outside the Circle than from Immortal Nerd, because there was so many more readers for Life Outside the Circle than Immortal Nerd, because their payment structure is defined by how many readers you have, or at least part of it is, or was. I actually don't know how the contracts are nowadays. I quit at the end of year 2019. Yeah, so I actually don't know what has been going on in the past 4 years. But still, I quit after these 2 series, and the reason I quit wasn't that I didn't have more ideas or anything. I actually did pitch a new series for them, and they were also interested in the series. The series was supposed to be called Manic Pixie Dream Guy, where there's this like grumpy guy who is like, yeah, I need a Manic Pixie Dream Girl in my life, but I am a self-made man and I will be my own Manic Pixie Dream person. So that's how he like becomes his own Manic Pixie Dream Guy. But yeah, I pitched it. They wanted to see like a colored version of it, but then I was just like, I felt like I don't want to do this. This is too much work, because like when I was working for Webtoon, I loved every second of it, but also I was drawing something like 9 to 15 pages a week. Every comics artist friend that I have in Finland, they draw like 2 pages a week. So I was drawing 5 times even more than that, 9 to 15 pages a week. and they were finished pages. Of course, they didn't have to be like, you know, it was slightly easier because it was the webtoon format and you don't have to fit them on a page, but it was still a lot of work. And I just felt like I will not survive if I continue. So I wanted to take a break. So I told them let me take a break about a year and then I will contact you again. Well, I never did, because I learned during my break that I loved freedom more than I loved money. Basically, because I got nice salary from webtoon. It was good to have, you know, reliable income, but also if I would have continued that, my hands would be broken by now. I wouldn't be able to continue it any longer than that. So I just never got back to them again. And I actually don't think I will ever draw Manic Pixie Dream Guy. It was a nice idea, but I have nicer ideas. That was kind of very tailored for webtoon, and I prefer to make comics tailored for me now. But yeah, that's what I did. So I had kind of like a thing that could have been a career, except that it is not a viable career option if you have to draw so much. Like, you would have to get way more money out of it so that you could have assistants, and I didn't have that much money, so it was impossible for me to actually make that as a career. And also, I don't like thinking about like what I want to do based on money. I want to like, other factors need to be the factor why I decide to do something. Yeah, well, anyways, this actually brings me nicely to back into the why did I start studying social sciences and why I'm not quitting comics and so on, because this is all part of this. I am not that interested in money. I am not that interested in a career. Yeah, after webtoons I started a small business. I had a web shop and stuff. Right now the web shop is closed. Maybe one day I will tell you the full story behind all of that. Basically, the official story is that Gumroad, where I had the store, started effing with NFTs, and I do not like that. I don't think cryptocurrency is a very good thing. I think it's a scam and also very bad for the climate. So I was like, no. But also there was a lot of other factors in it too. Like, why haven't I started a shop somewhere else? Well, maybe one day I will talk more about this. It also has a lot of things to do with me not wanting to base my life on gaining money. I want to be free from money. I do really hate capitalism, if you haven't noticed yet. Well, anyways, nowadays I basically still do have to do work where I get money, because like, how else would I survive? So I just make comics for all kinds of things, like some projects and newsletters and such. So I'm basically selling my own labor, and I feel fine about that. I'm good, and I'm really happy right now. Yeah. So if comics aren't a career for me, so what are they? To me, comics are a form of communication. They are actually my main form of communication. You know, of course I mostly communicate verbally and, you know, just physically moving like this and so on. But when I want to make something like very clear, comics is the form of communication that I use then. Like, if I have like some more difficult thought processes or like some concepts that I want to let people know of, that I want to communicate, comics is my form of communication then. I do not know how to communicate that as well when I'm speaking. So comics is the way that I communicate. So I can't be without comics. I need comics to communicate my thoughts. So am I stopping comics? Of course not. They are my main form of, you know, more abstract communication. If I need to communicate something else than just, can you buy me, you know, soy milk, I need comics for that. So yeah. Why am I then studying now? Why am I using my time for something else than comics? Well, social sciences are very interesting, and I think social sciences are the things that I want to communicate with comics. How am I to communicate anything if I don't know anything that I would like to communicate? I need something to communicate to people. I am very interested in a lot of things, like climate things and gardening and sustainable living and some kind of like self-sufficient, or like, you know, just making everything locally things, you know, circular economy and stuff like that. Those are the things that I'm really interested in, and a lot of those things are very present in social sciences. In social sciences, you're studying basically anything, but from the lens of social sciences. So if I were to want to, you know, if I want to study gardening, I can look at the social aspects of gardening. Why do people garden? What kind of social things they do while they garden? Do they garden together? Is there like community gardens? Do they do it alone? Is it only for the rich who have access to their own yard, or can people who live in apartment complex, you know, a lot of things, or just, you know, like climate change. I am very interested in especially like how climate change affects the people who have way less money than basically anyone anyone in Finland, I mean. So yeah, social sciences, that's a great way to study all of those things, and I just find it extremely interesting. So why would I stop making comics when I can just learn all of this and then communicate it with comics? Also, right now, social sciences and studying in a university has made me so much better at making comics. If there's someone watching this who doesn't know what I'm doing, or who the F I am studying social sciences in University of Turku in Finland. So yeah, I have just finished my first year. Soon I will be starting my second year, which will be way easier than the first year because I overachieved, and now I can have like a laid back second year. I took way too many courses for 1 year. I should have known not to take that many, but I was too excited, and then I had to like take 1 month break from everything because I was so overwhelmed by everything. But it still went good, and I was able to finish all of my courses. I still have a couple of things that I am going to do this summer, but yeah, win for me. But yeah, I think that this whole studying and everything has made my comics so much better. Like, they are better than ever. First of all, because I have access to all of these like academic texts and papers and everything that normally would cost me something. I was always looking for them from Sci-Hub before I was studying, but I always had to use like second-hand sources, like an article written by paper, you know, because I couldn't access the papers. I even sometimes emailed some of the people who had written some articles and asked for them to send me PDFs, but that always, like, that takes so much time. Now it's so much easier for me to just log into my university website and go from there, and then it opens so many doors for me. I can read so much academic papers that it's so much easier for me to make the comics. Also, I am getting feedback from my essays, like written essays, not comics essays, from all of the faculty members or people working in the university, and that is great because I am then using those essays as basically the scripts for my comics essays. So my comics have become better thanks to me studying in a university. I don't know if this would help that much if I wasn't making like comics about actual things happening, like comics essays about real life things. But for me, it has been very, very helpful. I have to mention, like, I just made this one comic about queer time, and it is so good. I posted it on my Patreon. Now I'm kind of like hoping to find somewhere else where I could like publish it, like in a magazine or something. I need to send it somewhere. It is so good. Like, it is about like futures thinking and queer futures and stuff like that. And I just, it is so good. Like, I am like genuinely so proud of myself with that one. It is one of my best comics. And I have like one friend of mine read it, and she told me, like, sent me a text right after and said that she started crying. And then later on I showed it to someone else she just showed it from my iPad, and they also kind of teared up, and I was like, okay, what? I didn't know, like, yeah, it's a good comic. You should probably read it from my Patreon. Yeah, I'm not gonna plug that anymore than this. But yeah, these are the things that I want to communicate with comics. So that's why I'm studying. I want to learn more things that I can then communicate to everyone with comics. So basically, comics have never been a career for me. It was fun to work on webtoons, and it was fun to quit. I would never change the working on webtoons for anything. It was so much fun just being able to publish comics like that. I loved it, and I still I learned the webtoon format, and I'm still actually using it for my own personal comics project that I have just on my website on hblehkonen.com. So I'm like very happy about that, and I'm still using the format. So it wasn't for nothing. It was absolutely for a lot of things, but it was not a viable career. My hands are still fine. I can draw. I am happy about that. I have never had a carpal tunnel or anything like that, or any, sometimes I have like a really stiff neck, but I think it's maybe because of gardening and knitting. So not that much about drawing. It's actually also about writing on a computer when your hands are constantly like this. That I don't like that. This is easier for me, just moving a pen. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say today. Well, maybe I also want to say that actually making this video is kind of a big deal for me. Like I said, I used to make the videos about me replying to my webtoon comments. I made them because there was so many comments and I wanted to answer, but I also just couldn't type a reply to everyone, so it was easier for me to just like actually bio picked a ton of comments for me, like 20 or something, and then I just reacted to them basically and answered them on a camera, and that was fun. And I think that was a great way to reply to the comments also without breaking my wrist. But yeah, this is a big deal for me because I actually quit making those videos because I transitioned and I hate my voice. Might come as a surprise for you because I seem like quite how do I... Well, I guess I could say that I seem like a person who has, who likes themselves, who is confident. I don't know if you can see it here. At least Finnish people think so, but they are all introverts, so I guess this always happens. I used to go to US a lot, and they would always think that I'm very, introverted, but yeah, Hope is a nice person, just very introverted. And in Finland, everybody thinks that I'm very loud and extroverted. So, I don't know if you see it, but Finnish people do tend to think that I am very confident. I am definitely not. I have a lot of trouble with my voice. I wish it was something else than what it is. So I just didn't want to make videos. I don't want to listen to myself inside my head. Or especially while editing. That's even worse. I do love my accent though. I speak very good rally English. Like, you know, Kimi Räikkönen, the rally driver from Finland. Yeah, that's how I talk also. Maybe not as bad, but quite bad. But that's good. Finnish accent is the sexiest accent in the world, so who cares? Well, anyways, let's see if I will ever publish this, because I am still terrified of my voice, and that's why I'm rambling about it. See you! Moikka!